Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudemire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Better Love Movement podcast. Thank you so much for joining me for another week's episode. And this week, we are in episode number 86, and it is entitled, What Do Men Really Think About Women Over 40? So I have a special guest joining me this week. I am privileged to have Will Mark on our show today, and he is from the Sir De La Hoya podcast. I am going to link to the podcast in the show notes and give you more information about the podcast, but please support it, please check it out, and thank you, Will, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, lady.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to give everyone a little background into how this podcast episode came to be. So a few weeks back, another very popular influencer named Derek Jackson, he put out a post about how women over 40 are amazing and they're dope, and he thinks they're the greatest thing ever, and he gave his reasons as to why that was. And a lot of my listeners, a lot of the clients that I coach are also over 40. And so, they really enjoyed this particular video that he created. And then right behind him, there was a little bit of a backlash of other male dating and relationship influencers who basically discredited his thoughts and opinions about women over 40. And they were not very nice. But I wanted to have this conversation with a man over 40 and get his thoughts and ideas about, what you think about women over 40, especially out here in the dating landscape. What do you think about this?
Well, well, you mentioned you got this from Derek Jackson, right? I'm familiar with Mr. Jackson. I've watched a number of his videos. A lot of the stuff he says can be on point. He does make a lot of interesting topics. I think the problem with a lot of males, a lot of us dudes that listen to Derek Jackson is it's completely obvious that he panders, right? So it's hard from the male perspective a lot of times to take some of his things serious just because it comes across as if he's just pandering. Now, I'm not going to say that he is, because I've also watched other videos where Mr. Jackson also had some things to say about the female persuasion as well. Getting back to the topic as far as women over 40, let me go ahead and preface it first by saying women are dope, period. Regardless of age, y'all are dope. But I don't understand personally the backlash behind the over 40 crowd. Me personally, I'm 45. I am single. I've been divorced for 3 years now. I was married for a while, a good while prior to. So I was out of the dating game for a minute. So for the past 3 years, I've been back in the dating game. One of the things that I can say with being 45 is I've had a hard time dating anybody under 40. Not that I can't date anyone under 40. It's just that it seems as though I've had better experiences with women over 40. And if I'm being honest, I've actually had better experience with women a little bit older than me.
Okay, this is promising.
Right, but it's a twofold thing, because a lot of times with what I'm only speaking from my experience as a man out here dating. When I've tried to date younger, early to mid 30s, didn't have a lot in common. The maturity level was a little different. It seems like that's more of a instant gratification generation. I mean, it's either bam, 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 I'm happy about this, or I'm not, and I'm about to roll out, I'm ghosted, right? But with the over 40 crowd, that's still a 50-50 gambit as well. Because I've met some women in that age bracket that they had their stuff together. You know, they had their perspectives from their life experiences, and they were either good at communication, they knew what they wanted from trial and error, had their head on straight, or it was the exact opposite. Whereas, how can you be this old and, you know what I'm saying, this is your mind frame, this is what you're thinking about, this is how you talk, and this is how you communicate, you're closed off, you're guarded, you're jaded, you don't know how to show love, you only know how to show love from your perspective, but not what the other person needs to feel. I mean, it's just so many different layers. So it's either being really, 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 really good, or it's being, what in the world is this? So it's still a 50-50 gamut. And really, if you really think about it, age only comes in play when it comes to experience. Because I've met some people in their late 20s that was really mature and had their stuff together. And I've met some ladies in their 50s, and I felt like I was talking to a teenager. So it just really depends at the end of the day on the person. I really don't believe in groupthink. I don't believe in grouping everybody into a certain level. Light-skinned women this, dark-skinned women this, women of this age do this, and women of this age. I really don't like to get into all that or think, but I will speak on things from my experience. So I don't know how, I don't feel like the over 40 thing is a thing. And honestly, I haven't heard too many men make an issue about it. Because if I'm being honest, a lot of you sisters are killing it over 40 as far as your bodies, the way you take care of yourself. I mean, look at Angela Bassett.
Oh, I have a list. I have a list. I'm about to read some names off of a list of women 40, 50, and beyond who are killing it, because I wanted to have some examples. So I did some research. Angela Bassett is 60.
She'll get it. She'll get the business.
Lisa Ray is 51.
She'll get the business.
Yep. Vanessa Williams is 53.
She'll get the business.
Halle Berry is 53. Okay. Marjorie Harvey is 52. Michelle Obama is 52. Who else?
Michelle Obama will get the business.
Okay. Taraji P. Henson is 49.
Business.
Gabrielle Union is 47. Okay. Who is on here? Tashina Arnold, 51.
Okay. She'll get business.
Sanaa Lathan is 48.
Business all day.
Yep. Cynthia Bailey is 53. So I made a list because I was curious. I was like, I believe that women over 40, especially, and over 50, I believe they're doing pretty darn good. Like, for the most part. But what I heard another male influencer, a very popular YouTube channel male influencer, say was that women lose it over 40. They stop taking care of themselves. they are not as hot of a commodity in the dating arena as a woman in her, mid to late 20s, early 30s. So that's why I wanted to create this list, because I was like, well, I mean, there's a lot of great women.
Okay, but let's talk about your list. Your list is referring to people who are financially successful and have the money and the means to take care of themselves, right? That's different from the average common person. Let's bring that up too, right?
Okay.
So let's just say the average middle class working mom, right? She's taking care of her bills. She's taking care of the household. The kids are either, she may have had kids later in life and they may be young, or she has kids that are a little bit older, maybe high school age, or they may be grown, depending on her age. So a lot of times people don't have time to put in the proper investment to take care of themselves like they want to, right? But the other side of that coin is you make time for the things that's important to you.
Right.
That's another thing. So I don't know. Now, I think a lot of us have dealt with the over 40 crowd of the women who probably was bad in high school, in their 20s, early 30s, and they still have that attitude like, I'm it, I'm the one, and then they get to that age, they don't keep themselves up to a certain level of their mindset. So they think they still the baddest thing walking, but they not.
Right.
And so those are probably women that a lot of the men have run across, to where it may be an arrogance thing. She arrogant and thinks she's all that.
Right.
And it's easy to hit with the, you pass your shelf life, right?
Right.
So that may be an issue as well.
Right. And I think it's interesting you brought up the point about how it's almost like a 50-50. I agree with that you will have women over 40 who, in my opinion, they clocked years, but they also clocked wisdom. And so they're proud of that experience. They're proud of that knowledge that they've gained, and they apply it. And so I love those women. But then you have women over 40 who are almost like they're ashamed of that age, or they want to be younger, or they want to do things that younger people do. And to that, I'm a little confused by that, because I've even coached some of these women where they're engaging in hookup culture and they are doing things that millennials do. And I'm like, no, we know better. We know better than that. But there's this shame that comes along with, coming from the generation they came from. They want to be a part of this younger, hipper generation. But I'm like, no, I don't think the way they're doing things is better or getting them anywhere faster.
I don't know. I think a lot of that also may be, well, let's talk about the single mothers, especially if we're talking about us in the Black community, right? Where unfortunately our statistics are close between 70 and 80% of household or single parent household, predominantly mother-led household. So a lot of times in the younger years, some of these ladies are so busy being the provider, being mom, being dad, being the provider of the household, and having to live their life to make sure that the kids are, healthy and happy and provided for, that by the time the kid leaves for college or life period or whatever, they feel like now it's time to catch up.
Right.
And jump back out and live the life that they saw a lot of, 20 and 30-year-olds living, and they had to be mom all that time. So now they're free. Right. Sometimes they try to catch up with some of that life as well.
Right.
How do you deal with that as a life coach? How do you merge those two ideologies together, as far as now you have your freedom, you're an empty nester, you can live a life you want to, but did that life pass you by? Is it too late? Like, how do you reconcile those two ideologies?
Right. Well, one of the things I encourage the women that I work with, period. So I work with women of all ages, 20 up to 65. with their dating and their relationship. And the one thing that I tell every single woman of every age is our standards are classic. Like that never changes. It does not matter if you're 20. It does not matter if you're 60. There are certain standards in which I want women, healthy, emotionally healthy women, to live by. And that never changes. One of my stances is I don't encourage women to have casual sex. I don't care what their age is. I don't care what year it is. We do not engage in casual sex. Nothing good comes from it. And women are not built for it. They want to believe that they are, but they're not. And so I encourage them to require exclusivity or commitment from a man before engaging sexually with him. And again, I teach every woman I work with, regardless of age, these same standards, that they have to have a standard in which a man is going to interact with them in order for them to move forward.
Okay. Here's a question for you. You mentioned whether they're 20 or 60 about standards. Right. Would it also be your opinion that a lot of those standards come from life experience? So those in their 20s probably are not going to have the same standards that they would have at an older age. Would that be your opinion as well? Because a lot of people's perspectives come from their experience.
Right. And that's the beauty of working with someone. When you're working with someone who is guiding and directing you, you are miles ahead of the average person. That's the benefit of working with a coach. I am also a therapist. But those are the benefits that you get when you work with someone. They're going to have perspective, regardless of age. You know, they're going to teach you things that you might not have thought of. That's one of the great benefits. That's why I'm always encouraging women, you know, come into the calls that we have, the lives that I have, and learn some things that maybe if you're young, you haven't learned yet. A lot of younger ladies, they say to me, I'm their auntie, or, you know, some of them, I am their mother's age. So they'll say, oh, you're like the auntie or the mom I didn't have. And I'm like, good. I'm glad I can impart some wisdom and some knowledge to you, because these are standards I teach my daughters, that this is the standard. I don't care how old you are. You don't engage in certain behavior with young men, older men, doesn't matter. You have standards for yourself. So that's one of the benefits of working with somebody.
I like the way you plug yourself.
That's it. Because at the end of the day, like I said, there are some 40, 50-year-old women, just like you said, they got married young, maybe at 20, 21, they had children. And so you're right, they're empty nesters, and now they want to jump back out there like they're 20. And I'm like, no, you're not looking 20, you're not, we can't do that. But you can have fun. I want you to take good care of yourself. I want you to remain feminine and flirty no matter what your age. I mean, I am the same feminine, flirty woman that I was at 20. But again, my standards have been very consistent. I have the same standards from 20 till now. But I really do encourage women to take care of themselves. It's all about self-care and self-love. And I personally am very obsessed, ever since I turned 40 with like fitness and eating right and health. I'm big into that just for the African-American community. I think there's this idea in our community that at a certain age, we just shouldn't try anymore. Like it's over. And I'm like, who told you that? They're like, no, it's I'm 40. I can't, this is it. I can't do anything about it. And so if anything, they get worse. They eat whatever they want, and they don't exercise, and they don't take care of themselves, because they're like, yeah, this is what happens when you get older.
And I think those are the women that these guys may be referring to.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I think in most cases, forgive me, I'm wearing my Dallas Cowboys shirt today. I'm repping. I had to take my business suit off and do my thing. I'm at home. Those are the women I think guys are talking about when we make mention, bring it back full circle. When we talk about the woman over 40 and man ain't checking for them, I think they're talking about that woman you just described.
Right.
But there's so many beautiful women 40 and above that's wandering around out here. I don't know about where you're in Virginia, right? Okay,
Yep.
so here in Texas, there are so many beautiful women over 40 running around here. Dudes are shooting shots hard. That's not a mindset, here. For instance, let me be the interviewer for a minute. I'm going to take over your show. Hey, how you doing, man? This is Will with the Sir De La Hoya podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you don't mind me asking, I'm going to break a cardinal rule here. How old are you?
I am 52. I am very vocal about my age. So
52. Okay. I can guarantee you're going to get shot at you by men probably in their late to mid 30s. You probably got some 20-year-olds shooting a shot when they see you out and about.
Okay. I mean,
I've seen your Facebook pictures.
Yeah, they can be my son. But I mean, it's
once again, we asked the same question from your experience. Are guys not shooting their shot?
They are. I mean, they are. And here's the thing.
Don't be modest.
Here's the thing I've been told, though, that I am an enigma. I am an enigma here in Virginia. So there are not very many women here that are like taking care of themselves obsessively the way I do. They're not in their feminine. That's very important. Men enjoy women who are comfortable being feminine and flirty and fun. So I think I'm unique in that regard, especially here where I live. So,
and let's expound on what you just said. In the circles that I hang around, the different panels I do, different conferences I've spoke at, podcasts we've done, radio shows I've done. One of the big complaints that I hear men complain about is the femininity aspect.
Oh yeah.
I hear men complain about, I don't know how she feels. I don't know if she's interested in me. I feel like I'm talking to a dude when I'm talking to her. I think a lot of this femininity aspect has been lost. Something in the culture has changed, maybe, I don't know. So if we are talking about the over 40 crowd and so on and so forth, I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's a relativity thing. As a man, I want a woman. If I'm going to flirt with you, text you, call you, compliment you, show you all this attention, I kind of want some energy back.
Right.
And if I'm not getting any energy back, then I'm just going to assume you don't have the same interest in me that I have in you, and I'm going to move around. Then I'm going to get accused of being not consistent.
Right.
I'm going to get, accused of ghosting. I'm going to get accused of this, get accused of that. And a lot of times it's not those things at all. It's that you didn't show me any interest.
Right.
And so it all falls back to, you can't ask me for something that you're not willing to do yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
and my channel is dedicated to teaching women how to be in their feminine. And I've been accused of being old-fashioned. I've been accused of, you want people locked in these roles. The truth of the matter is, I believe there must be balance in a relationship. So we must have one and the other, yin and yang, the sun and the moon, feminine and masculine. That's, to me, how relationships work best. And so I have been born and have chosen the role as feminine. That's what I'm comfortable with. And I prefer a masculine energy man. But a lot of women have been pushed into that masculine arena. They've been rewarded by going there, but they are not happy relationally. Their relationships suck. And I keep telling them, you got to come back to the feminine. If you want to have balance, you've got to be the feminine.
From your experience, if you don't mind me asking, I know we're probably running out of little time here, but I got to ask you this. From the profession that you do, a lot of guys, and a lot of women as well, a lot of people that's going to be watching this from my channel, some of the followers that I have or whatever, they have these questions, and I think people will be interested in getting your perspective in your sessions. Without revealing too much, how often do you see this as a problem in relationships, as far as the imbalance of role in relationships? Like
80% of people.
What seems to be the most common problem in that?
It is women in their masculine, women who want to, manage and control a man, which is very masculine. It is women who are afraid of being vulnerable. And vulnerability is the feminine superpower. And yet they see it as weakness. And it is feminized men. So we're seeing a lot of feminized men also. Men who have lost their assertiveness, men who have lost they're being driven and goal-oriented. Men who are either being taken care of by women, like we've had a role reversal.
And do you think that may play a part in the woman over 40?
It's funny. The woman over 40, I believe she's closer to her feminine than younger women. I think younger women are definitely more in their masculine. But because the woman over 40 it either has less options, she also has been pushed into her masculine. She's willing to engage with men who are maybe not doing as well as her, or she's taking care of men. And so that has pushed her into her masculine. So yeah, I think 80% of women have they have taken this masculine pill, and they have been rewarded at work and everywhere else, but in their relationships, they are suffering.
Okay, ladies, just to be fair, we also have to speak about another elephant that's in the room. We have to also be painfully honest and aware that us as men in the society have been taught things that later in life has given us a form of mental illness. And the aspect of, we were taught to don't cry, don't let your emotions out, blah, blah, blah. You gotta be hard, you gotta be, and all of this, after a while, weighs on a man to where he's not able to express himself. He's not able to be comfortable. He's not able to allow himself to experience emotions. And to touch it back to something you just said, it allows us to, well, it doesn't allow us to be vulnerable. And right. At the end of the day, a lot of us men, especially us in the Black community, because we deal with all of these things on top of, we deal with discrimination, racism, and a lot of other issues that has been plaguing us in our community for a while. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. A lot of us, we need therapy. We need counseling. And that shouldn't be a stigma. It shouldn't be something that's frowned upon or something that's X, Y, and Z. We need better guidance. We need more of our elder men that's teaching our younger men, hey, it's okay, bruh, let it out. Yeah. We need to have that trust tree within our men to where we can talk about issues that's really affecting us. And if we need to have an emotional moment, it's okay because we got each other's back. Right. And sometimes we need to go to counseling in order to put these puzzle pieces back together to understand the root cause of where a lot of our issues come from. Have mindfulness to where we can understand, build, and eventually correct these problems so we can not only have successful relationships, but have more successful communication. Not communication to just respond, but communication to truly understand. Right. So I'll go ahead and say on our side, we need that as well. Gotta be fair. Right, of course. And one of the things that makes me very proud is in the last maybe 6 months, I have had more male clients than I have in a while. And every time a new one comes, I'm excited. I'm like, yes, hit that. So yes, I think men are kind of awakening to this. There's been an awakening in the last year of what does healthy masculinity look like. Yeah. So ladies, you can pull back your masculinity a little bit. Let us have it back. We're trying to get it. We're trying. Just pull it back a little bit for us. Be our women. Be a woman for me. That's it. I tell so many ladies that men want the sensual and sexual. They want peace. They want fun. They want a little flirtation. They want the good stuff. And I encourage women to just lean back into that and allow men to step up
I believe that when you do that, the man will step up. Like it's in his DNA to want to give and do and support and protect and all that good stuff. So, but you got to be leaned back to receive it.
And most men won't admit that they want that same level from you. They want, I want your emotions. I want your laughter. I want your flirtation. I don't want to be the one that's always initiating any type of intimacy.
Right.
I mean, not all the time. I'm going to, simple things like I'm going to pursue you.
Right.
Just let me know you want the pursuit. How about that?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's what I tell women, be open and receptive. When a man calls, be excited to hear from him. You know, like, oh, it feels so good to hear from you. Yes. And smiling when you see him. That is underrated. That is so underrated. But I tell women, you should, every time when the man comes in your presence, you should smile. That's a small thing, but if he will remember that, like, wow, she's happy to see me. So, yes, it is the little things. It's the little tips that I give women that make a big difference.
Yes, I agree.
Awesome. This has been an amazing conversation. We may have to have a part 2 and dive a little deeper into masculine and feminine, because that is one of my specialties, is teaching women all about feminine energy and how to have a healthy relationship by leaning back into that energy. So I'm sure you have more to share about that. And
I have questions.
Yes.
I have so many questions.
Yes. All right. But thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This was an interesting conversation. And tell us where they can listen to your podcast. I know it's on Apple iTunes. I think that's where I listen to it. Where else can they find it? Yeah,
catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Podbean, and they automatically also upload to SirDeLaHoya.com. Forgive us, we've been going through maintenance with the website right now due to the coronavirus and social distancing and things of that nature. We're going to be up and running within the next few weeks.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to give that information in the show notes. And thank you everybody for listening. If you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Please give it a big thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think would be interested in seeing it. And as always, stay open to love. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.